Hi everyone. In this video, let's try to understand extensions concept related to Azure virtual machines. And when we're talking about extensions, what does they mean and how do we get benefit out of it? And the most widely used extensions also will be discussed in this video. But let's understand what is a extension. So when we are talking about Azure VM extension, so when a user is going to Azure and is trying to do a deployment of a virtual machine, or there's an existing virtual machine in Azure. So in either of these conditions, we can when the user is doing a post deployment, he wants some custom softwares to be there in the virtual machine. So Azure provides some softwares connections or they help in terms of installing some specific softwares, or Azure helps in terms of running some specific scripts in a virtual machine without logging in into it. And how does it help? So when you wanted to have a group of machines, and most widely used, like now if you see in the diagram, we have Datadog and we have custom script extension, we have a PowerShell desired DSC and all that. So we have an Octobus tool deployment agent. We wanted to configure on a virtual machine, we can do that. So these softwares were actually can be like act as an API to interact with the other softwares, or they might act like a script which will run on the machine. And these extensions would want it to be deployed into the machine without logging into it. So we can actually, using the extensions concept, without deploying logging into the machine, we can actually run some specific concept, specific softwares or a script into a machine. And how do we do that is what we will try to look at it. Now, how to install extensions in a VM. So if you are provisioning a VM, and during that time you wanted to install extensions, the way you have to do it is, you when you're going from a portal, you go into the advanced section and you will see extensions tab there, and you can click on select extensions and this will be opened. So you can select a specific extension what you're looking at, and usually your organizations will mention that I wanted this extensions to be in there during the time of post deployment of a virtual machine, and that extensions you will choose. So most commonly used like anti-malware solution for security, for securing the machine in terms of malware and everything detections or scans. So we install Microsoft anti-malware for the Microsoft Windows OS and everything. And I click on next. And during the after the as I mentioned, after the deployment, post deployment, that specific extensions what you have selected will be installed in the machine. Now, what if the already a machine is existing in the in Azure portal, and how do you install? In that kind of case, you go into VM, select the VM which was there, and you click on the extensions plus applications tab, and then you go into the extension section and you click on add, and you will again see the same thing what you're seeing, the same page of installing extensions, and you select whatever the necessary extensions and you click on next, and that's how you install extensions. Once you have installed the extensions, you would see under the extensions tab, if you see right now in the during the deployment, I have selected anti-malware solution, and that's the reason why when I went into that VM, I could see that IAS anti-malware has been installed in it. So we can see that way and we can finalize whether the extension is there or not. So let's go to the portal and see how what am I trying to say. If we are trying to talk about a virtual machine, when I'm creating a virtual machine, uh, and I go into an advanced tab, I can actually select the extension. So before, let me select which resource group and mention the name of it. Then I go into advanced section, I'll select the extensions. I can choose any of the extension here. If I choose an extension, then it will ask me further details which is needed for that. If it is an API, it might ask further details for that. And now if it is just a solution like Kaspersky Security Agent, now it will ask this one. So the one of the best things is like anti-malware. When I select this and I click on, it just asks me where should I download this and all that. If you don't give it, it will download it in some predefined method only, and that one we are configuring it for this machine. And this is how you select an extension. If you already have a machine in place and it is running, how do you go? Under the settings tab, you will find extensions plus applications, and you can click on add extensions here. at this point of time, why could I not see this gray out? This is being grayed out is because this machine has been stopped. Let me start this machine, and I could see that the machine has been started, and I can see right now the ad has been there. And now if we get into this, I can select any extensions which I wanted, and I can install that into the machine. And once the extensions has been installed, you would actually see that once as of now extensions are unavailable because the virtual machine has been stopped. So there will be an VM agent extension installed in every Azure virtual machine, and that interacts with Azure. So how do Azure gets to know what is the status of what is running inside the VM and everything? How do Azure is getting to know that the VM is actually running and all that? There will be a specific agent in the machine which is called VM agent extension. So this will be an interview question which will say that what is the one extension which is used to interact with Azure in a virtual machine, and that is VM agent extension. If I spell it rightly, it is VM agent extension. And along with this, we will use so this is already when you are provisioning a virtual machine. By default, this extension will be installed in your virtual machine, and through that only, right now, we got to know that there is an anti-malware solution which is installed in it, and that was provision got succeeded and everything. Along with it, some common solutions which we install as extensions is security. So if you see right now, I installed anti-malware. So we install security IAS solutions. Along with it, we might install some, if we have a center logging system, like Datadog is a center logging system, Splunk is a center logging system. So then we wanted to connect our machines to that system. We can use some extensions for that. If you wanted to run some scripts post the VM extension, VM has been placed, you want to run some scripts, then you use custom script extension, custom script extension. So in some cases, you need to install VM agent extension, and you have to go some cases you have to go manually and install extension. Suppose when you're taking an on-prem VM and you're migrating it to Azure, that time you need to have a VM extension in place. If you are connecting an update management solution, a monitoring solution will be set in place, an extension will be in place with a virtual machine. So there will be different types of extensions. So you have to go and see whether the extensions are in place or not. So this is how we will validate. This is how we widely use extensions in organization, and it's a good practice to understand or prepare yourself that you have configured a custom script extension and a anti-malware solution for your virtual machines. So stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.